Hi guys, this video is a Q&A for some questions I put out in the Blu-ray group. Some of them will be quite relevant to non-Blu-ray beings. Anybody who's sensitive or spiritually aware may see some interest in this, but predominantly I'm going to answer some of the questions from the Facebook group. Hi guys, so this is a video to just answer some questions. I put it out there in the Blu-ray Facebook group I started to see if anybody had any questions they wanted me to answer and to look at. So I'm going to do that here. I also want to say that, the Blu-ray, there are a lot of ideas and thoughts out there, and some of it takes away a little bit from being human, and I don't actually agree with that. I feel we've all incarnated here for a reason, and that's to grow and experience through our humanity. So don't neglect yourself on this journey, please. Remember, your emotions are like your GPS. They give you guidance, and they're okay, and it's okay to experience them, just as long as you don't get too attached to them. If you just feel it, experience it, let it move through you, that is what fully integrating your spirituality and your being, that's probably the first step, the biggest step in doing that. So anyway, I'm going to get right into the questions now. So the first one's from Caroline, and the question is, this one might be hard to find out, but I'd like to know if we can purposefully be alchemists of energy. Thinking about it, I guess this sits in the realms of Reiki or energy medicine. Well, everything is energy, and we're all here to transmute energy and to create. I mean, the whole law of attraction is built on that idea and that concept, and it does work. So yeah, we can certainly influence energy and create form from it, because everything's energy before it becomes form, and all form is energy. If you look at it and break it down, it's molecules and atoms, and they move. They're certainly not static. Everything's in constant motion. So yes, we are here to create, and it doesn't all have to be grim and serious and hard work. You can play with it. I mean, I've had some great fun creating things that aren't that serious, and they're actually easier to create because we're not as attached. We're more likely to be free and easy with the outcome. So play around with it, with some easy things that you'd like to create, some not hugely important things, and I think you can have a great time with that and build that strength. It's like anything, the more we use it, the better it works. So yes, we're most certainly here to transform energy into matter and to influence matter. I mean, there've been scientific experiments done on that too, and it's certainly possible. You have a look online about the influences of music on water molecules, and that's a really interesting thing to look at, the effects of our thoughts on matter. The second one is from Jane. I'm interested in finding out if Blu-rays are preparing to return to their true home in this lifetime. Our true home is spiritual. It doesn't actually have a location. Yes, star seeds are from different parts in the galaxy and things like that, but our true home is actually just being everywhere and nowhere all at once. So that is our true home, and every single soul is heading towards that. Some souls have had lifetimes in other dimensions, other planetary systems and things like that, and feel very comfortable with those places. And you can return to them if that's your intent. If that's your soul's desire to go back there, you will do so. But ultimately, our whole journey is about becoming one with everything, and then we won't have a beginning and an end or a location or a definite place in the universe. We'll be one with everything, because that's from where we came. That was our true origin before we kind of got into matter and form and expressing that in different places and different systems. So yeah, I don't think our journey here is about escaping from Earth. Our journey here is about living and growing and embracing the good and the bad. The Buddhists have some very good techniques for that. I read a wonderful book given to me by a friend a few years ago. It was about embracing change and uncertainty. It was written by a Buddhist nun, and it was really beautiful, and it basically was very good guidance on not resisting what is, not judging it, not labeling it, but embracing it. That doesn't mean you have to consciously go out and do things that feel horrible. That's not what I'm talking about. But if something comes up, you can actually transmute that into something positive by growing through it. So yeah, I feel we're not here to evolve out of the system. We're here to grow through it and to realize our connection with all that is, with everything around us, and that is limitless, and that is without location or destination, really. So yeah, that is becoming spiritually at one with everything. Okay, here's another one, another question from Charlene. Hi, appreciation for your guidance in this awesome gathering of Blu-rays. My questions are the same as Caroline. I've studied how science and spirituality merge, and I've learned fringe science that the ether is made up of what I call sacred geometry, squares, spinning spheres, and inside. Also, I've learned that everything is photons that come from our sun and space. These photons break down into electrons and photons. Okay. It's just a theory, but I believe the alchemy is the understanding. I'm still trying to get this, that through thought and intention and possibly sound and frequency, we can reach into the ether and create matter or manifest whatever. I believe the sound frequency comes from our voice and can be words or just a sound. Anyhow, that's what I'm curious about. That is once again about, energy principles. Yes, we are here to create. Yes, we are here to manifest energy into matter. I mean, that's really, if you look back at the Bible and at Jesus, he did that. And he didn't do it to be a show off or so that people would worship him, because that was never his interest, but to show us what's possible. And he did that very well by making water into wine and all of those things. And so these things are very, very possible. It's just, we're living in 3D, and it's a little bit harder from this dimension to make that happen. But as we become more aware, and as our vibration increases and speeds up, that will become easier and faster. And the faster is an interesting one, because I've played around with that, and it just happens so darn fast that we haven't got as much time to correct our thinking and things like that. But it is all part of our playful journey as a spiritual being. From a spiritual perspective, none of that is so grim and life and death. From a spiritual perspective, it's a game, it's fun, it's a journey of playing and exploring and letting our playful spiritual being experience and have fun and make mistakes, and the whole thing. It's all part of the journey. It's important. So we most certainly can do all of that. And yes, sound is very, very powerful. I've personally done sound healing with people. I have a medicine drum, and that's a really quite a nice deep sound. I've taken part in didgeridoo healings and things like that, and it's amazing how much energy sound can move. So certainly use sound, use your voice, use music if you're that way inclined, and yes, you can certainly make matter out of sound, because that is a wave. It's a waveform. So yeah, I think absolutely, and surely, yes. Okay, from Amber. I'm just saying first names here because I don't want, people's privacy to be jeopardized. From Amber, how do I meet my guides, trust my intuition, and expand my third eye? That's not just for Blu-rays, that's for anybody. The best way to meet your guides is actually through a guided meditation for starters. I used to run those sort of guided meditations at a healing centre where I worked, and it's a really easy way for people to connect that. So have a look online, see if you can find any good guided meditations that take you to meet a guide. Some of the American Indian journeying is very good for that. I used to lead people into that too, and it's really a lot of fun and very, very interesting what people come back with. So yeah, meeting your guides is, and just ask them to show you things, just ask them to guide you, talk to them, and you will slowly understand it. I feel personally, Amber, that you already are in contact with your guides, but you're expecting a more physical form than they're showing you. So look at the more subtle signs around you, and also at your inner knowing, because they talk to you through that. So don't expect a big voice, physical voice. It's more, it's almost like, what do they call it? Speaking mind to mind. Gosh, hang on. Yeah, communicating mind to mind is the best way I can explain it. It's just there, the information's there, so be open to that. Your intuition's like a muscle. The more you use it, the better it works. There's fun ways of doing it that I've mentioned in other videos. You can just let it show you a car parking space, or see who's ringing before you look at your phone, see if you get a feeling for that. Use it for all sorts of little things, and it'll become stronger and stronger. So it's like going to the gym. The more you use that muscle, the more you grow it. I mean, it's not literally a muscle, but it does become stronger when we use it. And with your third eye, that will happen naturally as you clear some of the third dimensional dross, so to speak, some of the denser energies, and you will start getting more visual feedback as that happens naturally. I don't think you need to do anything specific to make that happen, apart from spend some time just clearing, meditating, spending time in nature. Grounding energy is really important so that you're not carrying it around. And also, yeah, meditation. Meditation's the key for that one, to get that more in tune. So yeah, I do think you'll be successful with that. Okay, so now next question, Pauline. I've gone through many different hardships, but is this a normal process for Blu-rays? Yes, absolutely. That's why a lot of Blu-rays were so hesitant to come forward. They didn't have the easiest run through life. And because they're not like indigos who will just charge at the system and rebel and bucket, Blu-rays have had a tendency to kind of turn inwards and internalize the journey, and internalize some of the pain actually that they've experienced. And it's time now to work with that pain consciously in whatever way you feel comfortable doing that, and transmuting it. So yeah, a lot of Blu-rays have had really tough journeys, and those journeys have made them who they are now. And the one thing that kind of journey will give you is actually compassion towards others. And it's an important part of becoming part of the solution, is to be able to relate and understand other people's difficulties. But I do feel that's changing, and the more in tune Blu-rays become with themselves and their own feelings, I think that's a huge one for Blu-rays, is and empaths to become comfortable with their feelings, with their emotions. A lot of them have shut them down and locked them down and not allowed themselves to express or experience them. And it's like there's this big wave coming energetically that's going to make Blu-rays kind of really speak out and say what they think, and walk away from toxic situations and empower themselves, and to honor their sensitive nature and seriously get into self-care. So it's been a big learning journey, but I do feel things are shifting and changing. So don't feel that you've been singled out for a really hard journey. It's actually quite common. So yeah, but it is part of our growth, and we never take on anything we can't handle. So Kalandra asks, I hope I pronounced that right, Blu-ray connections to the earth, such as grid work, bringing the new earth, etc., would be lovely. Yes, if you're an earth healer, I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And on your own, you can do that just by sending energy through that grid work, connecting to it and sending energy through that. But it's also something we could do as a group, because we're all over the world. I mean, I'm in New Zealand. I don't know where all you guys are from, but yeah, but we could certainly send some nice healing into the grid work around the earth to speed up that healing. So I might organise that through the Facebook group actually, and see if we all want to meet at a time. We'll have to work out all the different time zones, but we can do that and just connect through meditation and sending healing to this beautiful network. Okay, Elaine. Once again, if I mispronounce your name, my apologies. I'd like to know about the activation process. What does it mean in layman's terms? And how do I know if activated? What determines by a measure that it's happening? How do I know it's real? Along those lines. You know what the easiest way is to find out whether you're activating? Is discomfort. It sounds terrible, but honestly, when we're starting to activate, we're going to clear so much old stuff, old beliefs, old systems that no longer work for ourselves, for others, and for the earth. It's a general universal activation. And my phone just skipped off that. Yeah, it's a natural process, and the more discomfort you feel as you're clearing things, the closer you're getting to the activation. I feel almost all Blu-rays now are activated anyway. They may not all understand what's going on. They may feel unhappy or uncomfortable or depressed or anxious and not know what's going on. But as the word spreads and people start talking about those things, I do think it'll become easier. So, yeah. Yes, most certainly activating if you're here in the group and looking at it. You know, activation is really just opening to the process of transmutation and change and vibrational shifts, and yeah, it's happening universally now. So Chrissy asks, is there a specific healing modality for this group of beings? I've had laser light healing from blue light beings and not sure if this is the same. Gosh, healing is healing. It's energy. One of the funniest things I ever saw was years ago in a New Age magazine. There was two different factions of Reiki. The Usui system and some other one were arguing about who had the exclusive rights to universal energy, which if you read it, it was like, you're joking, right? Universal energy is energy. It belongs to everyone. It doesn't particularly belong to Blu-rays or indigos or crystal children. We're all here together to use these universal energy waves, energies to clear and heal and transmute, and we can most certainly do that in whatever form feels right to us. I mean, some people love Reiki, some people love other forms of energy healing, some people do it through just talking and being there for people, or working with people, or coaching them, or guiding them. There's always an energy exchange when that's going on too. You know, you don't have to lay your hands on somebody to be able to do that. So blue light works well for Blu-ray beings, so color healing can be very good. The blue laser lights, that's an interesting one. I haven't actually personally come across that, but yeah, that sounds good. So, but I think whatever form of healing you feel comfortable with and feel drawn to is right for you. Some people are just naturals at it. They use sound or color or just energy, or whatever form works for you. But yeah, visualizing blue light is actually very good and very strengthening. And Shakira, Blu-rays and their auras. I'm not sure what the question would be, but well, that is not very helpful. Sorry, no, it's fine. I think I know what you mean. Auras change. Like, I've got an aura photo somewhere. I actually can't find it, and my entire aura was blue with a little bit of white and violet at the top. So there are other colors in them, but predominantly it was blue. But it looks at what wavelength you're looking at. There are different layers of our aura that represent different aspects of our being. So some of that is like the spiritual aspects, which grow and evolve and change slowly, whereas our more personal layer, which is closer to us, and the astral, they fluctuate like crazy because our emotions, our feelings, our experiences constantly change. So our aura will express that too. If you can see auras and you tell somebody a funny story, you'll see totally different colors too. If you tell them a really awful story, it'll just quite quickly change that layer. So yeah, blue is quite a prominent color in both Blu-rays and indigos, but not always. It depends on where you're at in life. If you're at a very physical stage of your life or really healing yourself, there'll be a lot of greens and earthy colors and things like that too. So they're all valid. It's not just blue. So yeah, whatever color works. The thing with Blu-rays, and I do want to say this, it's an energy wave that came in. Like the indigos, like the crystal children, like the rainbows, they've all come here with a certain energy, vibrational blueprint, so to speak. Not blueprint, that's too rigid, but influence. But they what are you doing, Feeny? But yeah, it's not that rigid. That doesn't mean you're going to turn into an indigo next week. It's an energy wave. But who we are on a much, much higher level is all one. With the indigos, with the crystal children, with whatever but vibrations. Even the not so nice beings, they're all part of the plan. If you've ever run into spiritual entities that aren't that nice and that may be a little bit scary and things like that, they're still part of the whole plan of the whole evolution and things like that. And we are all connected. The Blu-ray is a vibration and energy that has certain specific characteristics, and my whole plan for forming this group was because a lot of Blu-rays have kept very quiet, have stood back, have not voiced what's going on for them and how they see things and what they're feeling. And it's time now for that to change, for those Blu-rays to overcome those patterns of withdrawing, of pulling back, and to actually step fully into their power, into their strength, and to allow themselves and love themselves exactly for who they are. That is the ultimate cure for everything, is to love all of yourself. You don't have to be or become anything else than who you are. You're doing it now, you're experiencing it now, you're growing now, and yeah, you don't have to stand on your head and chant Om 50 times in order to do that. All you need to do is learn to be in the present moment, to stay calm, observe your thoughts rather than attach to them, and to love yourself and accept yourself even if you've done some things you're not so happy about. You did those things at your current level of consciousness at the time. Forgive yourself. You can't go back. We don't have a time machine. We can't change it. So move forward and start embracing all of who you are. That's the biggest lesson for all Blu-rays. You know, we can look at all sorts of different angles of it, but the biggest lesson is to integrate, to bring integration into our being, to accept, love, and honor all of who we are. You know, yes, emotions and feelings, and especially strong ones, can be terribly uncomfortable for somebody as sensitive as a Blu-ray, but they are really a part of our being, so we need to love them and accept them and be kind to ourselves. So I think that's really the biggest lesson and the biggest step to awakening, is to be comfortable with all of yourself, to love all of yourself, to not try and be something other than who you are. We're all different, like with spiritual gifts and things like that. A lot of what I do when I do readings, I call it downloads. I don't have Granddad sitting in the chair over there. Well, sometimes that happens, but most of the time the information just downloads. And here's my little grubby friend who's been rolling in the dust. Who's wriggling the table, something shocking. Oh, she's filthy. So yeah, that is the biggest step. That's the biggest thing I can give you and show you and guide you with, is to love and accept yourself, to love yourself through all the experiences you've had, and try not to divide yourself up, because that just doesn't work. If you get so out there into the ethers, into your spiritual energy, that you forget to take care of your being, your human being, your physical being, things will get out of balance. It's time to bring all of that into our being and to work with that. So, and the first step to that is self-acceptance. That's absolutely crucial, and embracing all of who you are. And no, you don't have to be perfect. Perfect is, I don't know, I think it's something that fluctuates, Some things we do really well, some things not so well, and that's okay. It's part of the journey. So anyway, I want to send you all lots of love, and enjoy this journey and become who you were born to be. If you're Blu-ray, please allow yourself to express all of who you are, because that's what it's time for. And that is actually the most healing and empowering thing we can do for this planet, because there's so much pain and dysfunction and anger and violence and things like that, and none of those things come from love. So yeah, if we love ourselves, we empower and teach others how to do that, and if we love others, we empower them to be the greatest version of who they can be. So yeah, share the love, and I will see you all again soon.